Andy, we sit on a powder keg. And when I did my program at Kofi Annan, in one of our classes, I think with General Kotia, we looked at the indicators for failed states. Randy, Ghana ticks all the boxes. All. A huge youth population, growing unemployment, desperation. We tick all the boxes. So the class ended with concluding that it was the grace of God that has kept Ghana away from failing. Because all the things that are classic indicators of a failed state exist in Ghana. And Randy, you just need to drive around Accra and look at the desperation in young people, in the faces of young people. Randy, the next election is not necessarily going to be about who's got the best promises and slogans. It's about who can appeal to the youth of our country and give them practical solutions to unemployment. That is really where we sit. Randy, look, and unemployment as a national security crisis has been with us for years. In fact, that is what led Kufuor to start the NYEP, a national security report that said to him that, look, you had a crisis on your hand. We've not been able as a country to fix it holistically. And Randy, when the youth of our country begin to hear that political elites have the kinds of wealth that can transform the lives of young people,
1 minute too.
it is extremely problematic. Because Randy, if you see what happened, is Sri Lanka that went bust recently. When they ran out the government, Randy, they went to the House of MPs, both governing and opposition. Everybody in this country today who drives a Land Cruiser, whether you are a government person or a private chief executive, you are at risk. All the high-rise estates that we are told are the most secure estates, you are prime targets. Those are the places where they will storm. Nobody is going to storm Caprice and Alajo and Sotom and those places. So they're coming for the high-rise areas where the rich live. And if we don't begin to take steps to walk this back, Randy, if you look at what's happening in Francophone West Africa, it tells you that there is a setting movement happening. Mali, Niger, Guinea, and the breakaway from the colonial master. And Randy, it is simply because the people are despondent. In those countries, it is not just unemployment, but a lack of security. Because the people are at the mercies, villages are being ransacked by jihadists, and the state is unable to protect the people. Man, if you go to Mali, the government of Mali is able to protect a 5-kilometer radius around the central business district, and that's all. If you live outside that 5-kilometer radius, you're at your own mercy. And when you have a security service, and you see, the last time I spoke about the Ghana Armed Forces, they weren't very happy about some of the things I said. But Randy, I have said I am not against persons associated with political parties being enlisted into the security services. Why? The people who get enlisted normally, don't they also vote? They do. So I don't have a problem with it. But the problem I have is when you enlist people who are not qualified. The guy just spoke about, the newspaper article, spoke about the impossibility of a journalist on an English radio station or TV station who can't speak English. How do you have security service personnel who are not fit, who cannot and who do not have endurance, who have been enlisted simply because of who they know, and because of that they disrespect the warrant officers? And Randy, we have built a situation where, look, when you talk to anybody who understands the Ghana Armed Forces, people who are respected the most on the barracks, are you a barracks boy, are warrant officers. Even generals respect the warrant officers, because the warrant officers are the ones who basically run you through the academy and take you through. Randy, under this government, we've seen national security boys, party apparatchiks, pull a warrant officer out of his vehicle, handcuff him, and assault him at Michel Camp. It is this level of decadence that has led to the highest rate ever of officers going AWOL, away without official leave, in our services. Randy, we need to look at retooling of our services. You spoke about the briefing. Randy, we can't talk about the things in this country. But you see, when you look at the fact that 8 years ago, the terror threat was over 200 kilometers away from Ghana's northern border. And as we speak today, it's less than a kilometer away from our border. It must tell you that we must wake up. Yes, the 15 FOBs that have been set up for the Northern Shield. Randy, if you have men who are carrying outmoded weapons, if you have men who are carrying weapons that cannot fire, if you have men whose morale is at its lowest because their welfare is not properly taken care of, Randy, you have a security service that needs to be looked at.
Right. Okay.
And
right.
I have to control myself. But
yeah, in a minute we need to. Yes.
Joblessness. I mean, I think that government knows this and is doing her best to address unemployment, especially about the youth in this country. Most of the interventions that we have created have led in providing some jobs, though not at the scale that maybe we want. The 1D, 1F has created some jobs. The ambulance service has created some jobs. The NIA has offices in almost all the assemblies. Created some jobs.